distinguished guest speaker Dr. Chanchala Jain Madam, and all participants. On behalf of RFI, I extend a warm welcome to all of you for the 10 days training program and faculty development program on a step-by-step guide to writing a good research paper. Today marks the fourth day of our program, where we delve into the captivating theme of application of Excel for data analysis. This program is organized by the Research Foundation of India and RFI-CARE in association with Shodh Malwa, City University Punjab, and MKES Khandwala College. It has been made possible through the generous sponsorship of renowned organizations, namely JHARF, Academic Research Guide Association, and Edu Academic Inc. The support underscores their commitment to advancing research and education, for which we are deeply grateful. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed research expert for today, Dr. Chanchala Ma'am, an assistant professor at Prestige Institute of Management and Research in Indore. She is an author, research expert, and academician with over 11 years of experience in management and commerce. She is a founder of Urja Counseling and Training Indore and also serves as the co-coordinator of IQAC at PIMR. As a research expert and trainer, she has conducted numerous workshops and FDPs on SPSS module, research paper writing, and analysis through our programming. She has completed a research project in the medical field presented before the Central Ministry and has chaired and co-chaired various conferences. With over 10 years of rich research experience, she has written more than 42 research papers that have been published in various Scopus indexed national and international journals. She has presented research papers in more than 20 conferences and received 5 Best Paper Award at JIMS Delhi, Pacific University Udaipur, and 3 at Prestige Institute Indore. Under her guidance, 4 research scholars are pursuing their PhD degrees, and she has supervised over 500 students in their major and minor research projects. So that's all about Madam's expertise. Now, without further delay, I would like to request Ma'am to please start. Over to you, Ma'am.
Thank you so much, Neha, ma'am. I hope I'm audible clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So at the onset, I firstly want to extend my sincere gratitude to the RFI team, especially the Ajay Jain sir, Saurabh sir, and the entire RFI family for one more time giving me opportunity to interact with the participants through this online platform. As Neha already said, this is the day 4, and I'm going to discuss about the application of Excel in data analysis, right? So without delaying, I'll start with the session, right? So give me a second. Firstly, I'll share my screen, and the format of the session was like I will discuss the few concepts about the analysis, means about what is we are using in the analysis, and then we'll move to the Excel, and we'll see how we can use Excel for the data analysis. For the purpose, I shared a worksheet with all of you. I hope you people have received the worksheet. The purpose of sharing the worksheet is very simple. I want you to please use that sheet while explain you how to use Excel in the data analysis. That way, probably this way be the hands-on practice along with me, and this will give you the clear idea about the data analysis using Excel, right? So without delaying, I'll share my screen first. And I think this is the day 4, as Neha ma'am said. Neha ma'am, thank you for introducing me. I think I forgot to say thanks to you. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
And as ma'am said, this is the day 4. So on day 4, before this, I think you people have studied about the various other things like introduction, literature review, etc., and probably the questionnaire also, right? So today is the 4th day where I'll talk about the analysis. I hope It is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fine. So, as we are proceeding with the data analysis, we need to know few of the concepts which are, give me a second, yes. So I'll start with firstly the term variable. Can any one of you tell me what do you understand by term variable? Anyone? Yes. I hope the session will be interactive, friends. And you are interacting this way, I think it will be easier for me to understand whether you are getting me or not. I hope I'm audible. Yes. Uh, Neha ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I hope, friends, I'm audible to every one of you. So, can I expect the answers from your side?
Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Variable is a thing which changes, the value changes, and it's not constant.
Very correct. Thank you so much, sir. May I know your name?
My Dr. Santosh.
Santosh, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Santosh,
Thank
sir.
you, madam.
Yeah. Sir said very correctly. Variable means from the name, it is very clear, which varies, which is not constant, is variable. When we talk about variable in terms of research, variable is, we can say it's a characteristics of any object. And we know when we are changing the object, the characteristics will change in terms of any of the characteristics. Say, for example, if I am saying the skin color, right? So from person to person, the color is, skin color can change, the hair color can change, the nationality can change likewise. So that way it is known as the variable, which varies, which is not constant, which can accept value and which changes when we are changing the object items, or from the, we can say over a period of time, a particular entity changes or value of that entity changes, which known as variable, right? Now talking about the types of variable. Any guesses for the types?
Ma'am, hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, actually, I think there are two types of variables: independent and dependent variables.
Very correct. Thank you, ma'am. May I know the name?
Yes, my name is Priyanka Chakraborty. I am the research scholar from JIS University.
Okay, Priyanka. Thank you so much. Ma'am
Thank
said
you.
correctly. We can say there are two types of variable, independent and dependent. But this is not the one classification. Usually there are so many different classifications for variable is available. Generally, the broader one is the quantitative variable and qualitative variable, right? Or you can say quantitative means the numeric. This is the categorical. So this can also be one of the classification of the types or classification of the variable, right? Or you can say variable can be dependent or independent. So firstly, if I talk about the first differentiation or first type of variable, I can say quantitative variable means a variable which is accepting only the numbers or the numeric values are known as quantitative variable. Examples like we can say the weight, the height, the income, the salary, etc. can be the age, can be the quantitative variable. Qualitative variable means a variable which you cannot represent in the form of numbers, right? These are generally in the form of categories, in the form of characters or alphabets. Say, for example, the gender is the qualitative variable, right? Similarly, the nationality or the hair color, etc., can be the qualitative variable. Other classification which ma'am said, which is the dependent and independent variable. So independent variables means is the variable which can accept any value, means its value will not depend on any other thing, which is known as independent value. Dependent variable means the variable which can, we can say the values of this variable is depending on the value of independent variable. So I think in mathematics we all have studied one equation which is generally represent or written as y equals a plus vx. So this is a straight line equation. I think we all have studied in the school time in the maths, right? So once I'm saying y equals to a plus vx, here y is what? Y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. Meaning is very simple. That means x can accept any value, but the value of y will always be depending upon the value of x, right? So that is why we can call y is the dependent and x is the independent variable, right? So this way, this is the classification of the variable. Talking about the measurement scales. Any idea about this?
There are
Anyone?
four measurement scale, ma'am.
Yes, correct.
Nominal, ordinal, cardinal, or interval.
Okay. Okay. So very correct, ma'am. May I know the name?
Mahima, ma'am. Research
Mahima,
scholar,
ma'am.
Geeta University, Panipat.
Okay, fine. Very correct. But before understanding the types of measurement skills, firstly we need to understand the meaning of measurement skills, right? Usually we know that there are various variables which we can easily measure because the apparatus is easily available, right? Or we know the yardstick through this through that we can easily measure the variable. Say for example, if I want to measure the water, so I think it is very simple. I can say water can be measured in terms of liter, right? And there is a particular apparatus using that liter.
Madam, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Madam, you have mentioned y is equal to a plus bx now. On the basis of this formula, we are going to calculate the demand forecasting in economics.
Yes, sir. Usually in
Okay,
regression
madam.
also we are using the same for the simple linear regression also we are using the same equation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank
Yes, yes, yes. So I was on the measurement scale, meaning I was telling you that usually few of the variables available generally around us through the various apparatus or instruments, we can easily measure them. As I said, suppose I want to measure some liquid, I know I need to measure that particular liquid in terms of liter. Similarly, for the solid, according to the type of object, we are also having certain apparatus using that we can measure. But when we talk about research and the variables available in research, many of the variables you cannot measure using any object, or sorry, using any apparatus or using any instrument. In such case, you need to take the help of measurement skills. For example, if I want to measure the perception of a person, so I think it is very much clear to every one of us, there is no such a scale available which can help us to measure the perception of a person. Or if I want to measure the motivation level of a person, that how much motivated a person is, so again there is no particular scale is available, right? In such situation, when we are dealing with such variables, we need to take the help of measurement scales. And as ma'am said, there are four types of measurement scale. Only the one name ma'am has not taken correctly, Mahima ma'am, that is the cardinal. Remaining three were the correct, and the name are nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio, right? So these are the four important measurement skills available. Using these skills, we can measure such variables which we cannot measure using any apparatus. For nominal scale, if I talk about, this scale generally we are using for the categorization purpose. When you want to categorize certain elements or respondents, suppose because generally in research we are talking about the respondents. If you want to categorize your respondents, you can use the nominal scale, right? Say for example, if I say gender, always I take this example because gender is very simple to understand. So on the basis of gender, I can only classify my respondent that these are the males and these are the females. So only categorization is possible where we are using the nominal scale, right? So that way you can say we are classifying the respondents on the basis of their gender, or on the basis of their nationality, or on the basis of their hair color or eyes color, something like that. So that is known as the nominal scale. Second scale is the ordinal scale, which is having the quality of the nominal scale and it has its own quality. Means as you are progressing from the scales nominal, ordinal, then interval, all the scale will have the characteristics of its previous scales, right? So ordinal will have the characteristics of nominal, that is categorization is possible. Apart from that, whatever categories you are making, you can arrange them in a particular order, either in ascending or in descending order, right? Say for example, rank, if I'm talking about, if suppose I have asked from the person to rank particular products, right? So few people have given their preferences for ranking the products. So that bit is quite obvious. Suppose there are 5 ranks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have categorized the product in the 5 ranks, and also it is possible to arrange these ranks in the ascending or the descending order. This is the ordinal scale. Third scale is the interval scale. So it is very much clear that interval scale will be having the qualities of the previous scale, that is categorization and the order. Apart from that, it has its own quality, that is there will be the equal distance in the categories, right? But the problem with the interval scale is that is it is lacking with the absolute zero. There is no absolute zero in the interval scale. So again, I say the better example to understand interval scale is always a temperature scale, because we all are familiar with the temperature scale, and we know in the temperature scale there are, it means generally it is starting from 0, 5, 10, something like that, right? So equal distance is there, right? Apart from that, categorization is possible, ordering is also possible. But the problem is when I'm saying 0, 0 means the temperature should be 0. But at 0, we at least means at the 0 also we can feel the characteristics of the temperature. And the temperature characteristics are what? Can anyone tell me how you can feel that this is a temperature? Yes. How you can feel the temperature around us? Anyone?
Ma'am, 30 degrees centigrade.
No. Sir, simple meaning is, suppose I say today is very hot, means temperature is high. If I am saying today is very cold, temperature is low, right? So the characteristics of temperature is either hot or cold. That way you can feel the temperature, right? So when I am saying 0 degrees, so at 0 degree I should not feel anything, because 0 means 0. There should not be the hotness or the coldness. But at 0 you can feel cold, right? So means whatever characteristics of temperature you are measuring, that is still present there. That is why I said this scale is lacking with the absolute zero. Means that zero is arbitrary, we have kept, and we are, because we need to develop the temperature scale, so scientists have arbitrarily kept a zero on a particular point and assumed that this is the 0 degree, and then the temperature scale was developed. But at 0 you should not feel either cold or hot, if actually if you are saying that this is 0. So that is why we can say that 0 is the arbitrary 0 and it is not the actual or the absolute 0. So this is the problem with the interval scale, and to overcome this problem we are having the last scale, which is the ratio scale. And in this scale there is an absolute 0 available. So that is why when absolute 0 is available, so ratio is quite possible there, right? So meaning is when I say a person is having 0 salary, so it is a very simple meaning is that person is not employed, and that is why the person's salary is 0, right? So this way, these are the measurement scales. Using these scales, we can measure such variables which you cannot measure generally in the using any apparatus or something. So for example, if you want to measure perception, attitude, motivation, anxiety, etc., so you can use either the interval scale or the ratio scale, and that way you can measure such kind of construct in the research field, right? So this way, this is the basic concept which you need to know once we are proceeding with the data analysis, right? And then we will see in the Excel that how you can use all these, right? So I think data I shared with all of you. I hope you people have received the data. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm expecting you please open the same data so that you can perform along with me. Give me a second. I'm going to open my Pi so that we can work along. I'm sharing my screen again, and I want you people to please confirm me whether my screen is visible or not. Yes, I shared my screen. I hope it is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yes. So, friends, I think there are various worksheets. Various worksheets in this particular file. I'm expecting you to come on the first file or first worksheet with the name missing value. Right. Firstly, we will understand what data is given to us, and then we will work on this. I hope everyone is with me. I think someone of you is asking about resharing of the data in a chat. So I think I'm not there in a group. May I expect any one of you to please share the same sheet which you have received? Anyone? I hope anyone is of you is sharing the sheet with the participants in the WhatsApp group.
Done, ma'am, done.
Done. Thank you so much. Fine. So I'm discussing the data sheet firstly, and then we will proceed with this. So in this particular sheet, Excel sheet, I think I do not need to tell you what is worksheets, what is workbook. Generally, workbook is what we have opened. In workbook, there are so many worksheets. So workbook is the combination of so many worksheets, right? So I am presently on a particular worksheet with the name missing value. Here you can see these are the columns, right? So the vertical lines or vertical rows or vertical, what I can say, vertical, what I can say, means whatever vertical you can see, which is I have selected, is known as the column. And once I'm coming on a horizontal selection, you can see this is the row, right? So combination of row and column means once a particular row and column is intersecting, this is known as the cell. So presently you can see I am on a cell B2, and here you can see in the name box, this cell is B2 cell, right? So that way this is the address of a cell, which is made up of the row address and the column address. Fine. So I think this is the very basic thing you all are knowing already. So I'm not going in that. I'm starting with explaining you this data set. I have taken deliberately a very small data where you can find we are having only 12 observations available, so that it is very easier for us to understand, right? In this, you can find we are having total 12 participants, right? Participant number, that is the first column. There you can find total last number is the 12. That means we are having the data of total 12 participants, right? Always in the particular Excel, columns are representing you the variable and rows are representing you the respondent data, right? So this is column, means in the column you can find these headings are showing you this is the variable, right? And rows are indicating you the responses of the individual respondents, likewise, right? Now here we are having total 6 products, and suppose we have asked these people to show your satisfaction for these 6 products, right? So I will read only for the first respondent, and that way you can connect for the remaining also, right? So if I talk about the respondent number 1, we can find for respondent number 1, he is very satisfied with product 1, satisfied with 2, very satisfied with 3. Probably he has not used product 4, so you can find there is no response. For product 5, very satisfied, and 6, satisfied, right? So likewise, we can read this particular table here. I hope it is okay and clear to everyone. May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I expect you come down. There I have already given you a particular format where you need to calculate the non-blank cells, blank cells, and total, right? So here you can see if I want to calculate the non-blank, non-blank means all the filled cells in this particular column, if I want to count, right? So which function I need to use, because Excel is very famous for the functions, right? So here firstly we are understanding the functions, and that way we are proceeding, right? So I think you have heard about the function count, count, etc. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So if you have heard about function, you know how to execute function in Excel. It is very simple. If you want to execute any function in Excel, you need to firstly put a equal sign, right? So the same I did. I have only kept a equal sign. Now I need to type the name of the function. So once I will type C, all the functions which are starting with the C you can find here. But I think I am very much clear. I need to use count or count A function. So I will use here the count A function instead of count. Can anyone of you tell me what is the difference in count and count A? Anyone?
मैम काउंट ए फंक्शन एवरीथिंग काउंट कर सकता है और काउंट फंक्शन सिर्फ नंबर को काउंट करता है.
Very correct. Sir, may I know the name?
सुलेख कुमार मैम.
Very correct, sir. So Lex sir is very correct. He said, if I'm using count function can give me the count of only numbers. Means if the numbers are filled in a particular column or in a particular range, in that way I can use a count function. But here you can see we are having the text, we are having the character data, right? So in that case, count will not work here. So we need to use count A. And it is a very simple thing. If you want to use a particular function, so I type the name. After the opening bracket, you can see it is showing you, it is assisting you that what you need to do here. So you need to supply here the values. So rather than supplying values, you can also give the range here, right? So what I'm doing, I'm coming here and selecting the range from first cell. First cell means from the very satisfied to the neutral. This range I have given that way, and I close the bracket. So the range is B2 to B13, and now I'm pressing enter button. So once I'll press enter, you can see the non-blank cells are 11, means 11 cells are filled here, and as the data was very small here, we can easily diagnose this thing that only one cell was empty here or blank here, right? So that is very clear. 12 minus 1 is 11. But when you are having the large number of data, suppose you have collected the data for your research purpose from the 500 or 700,000 respondents, in that case it is quite tough for you to calculate or count this type of blank cells, right? So using non-blank so to count blank or non-blank cell, generally we can use such kind of functions, right? For non-blank we have used here count A. I hope it is clear. May I proceed? Yes. Any help, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now, at the bottom, you can find there is a small rectangle on this particular cell. So you need to just put your cursor there. There will be a plus sign, and you need to only drag the formula till the last cell. And that way, it will calculate the non-blank cell for the remaining columns also. This is known as the relative referencing. So that way you can see here the range was B2 to B13. Once you are coming on the second cell, the range is C2 to C13. Means this is relative referencing. According to the column, it is changing the reference, right? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Come down. Now you need to calculate the blank cell in the range. So I am writing again a equal sign, typing the equal sign, then typing count, and I'm selecting count blank. I double click from that particular list. That way I can see the count blank function. I have selected the range, close the bracket, and press the enter. So may I press enter? I hope everyone has performed.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So this is 1, and I think we have already seen the blank cell was 1, and I am dragging the formula, or sorry, the function to the remaining cells to get the blank, non-blank, or sorry, to get the blank cell in the remaining ranges. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, total means you need to total. So I'm using the sum function, and then you need to give the range of these two, right? That will tell you total respondents, right? So I'm pressing enter. It is coming as 12. So this is a kind of cross check we have made, because data is easy, small. So I think it is very easier for you to calculate. But for the large size of data, you can adopt such kind of practices. Is it fine?
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes, fine.
Ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Listening
my
up.
name is Varshita. Could you kindly repeat this step alone, because my internet got interrupted.
Which step, ma'am?
Ma'am, this right from this non-blank, how do you choose this?
Okay, I have used this count A function, ma'am. You need to put a equal sign. You need
Okay.
to type count A, or once you are writing COU, I think you will be able to see in the particular list the count A function. You need to select that, and then you can select the range of your data, which is
Okay.
this,
Okay, okay, ma'am.
and then you need to press enter.
Fine.
Right? After
Okay.
doing enter, you can put your cursor here on a small rectangle, and you can drag your formula like this till the last cell.
Fine, ma'am.
Right? So similarly, for the second cell, we have used count blank. Range is same which we have given here. After doing enter, you will get the blank cell count, and then you can again drag it till the last cell.
So this calculation for the single column alone, the first column alone, right?
Yes, yes, obviously. Because
Yes.
a particular variable, we want to say how many, we want to see how many are the filled value and how many are the missing values.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much.
Right. So I hope till here everyone is okay. May I proceed with the next sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Expecting everyone to open the sheet number 2, named as category count. Done? May I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now you can see, I think firstly I'm making it properly so that it looks good. Yeah. Now what I need to do, I need to count how many of the persons or respondents were very unsatisfied for the product 1, right? As data is small, I think we can do that easily. But suppose I want to use or any particular function to see this. So I am putting here a equal sign. Then you need to type count and then select count if. Given? I hope everyone has typed this.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you can see it is suggesting you to pass the range and then criteria. So range is very clear. We were calculating this for the product 1, right? So you need to give the range of product 1. Put a comma. After range, you can find there is a comma. So put a comma. Criteria is what? It is very unsatisfied. So I selected very unsatisfied, which is already placed here, right? Fine.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Now I expect you to use function F4 or only F4. You need to check in your laptops or desktops how it works. Whether F4 is working alone or using a function F4 it is working. Why I am doing so? I want to freeze this particular condition. I want to make it constant. Very unsatisfied should be constant, so that once I will drag this formula from this cell to the remaining cell, always it will take criteria as very unsatisfied, right? And then you can close the bracket. Done? May I press enter?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we can find there are two people who are very unsatisfied with product 1, right? Now I'm dragging the formula till the last cell. And you can see it is giving me the count. In the second cell, in the second, what I can say column for the second product, there are 3 people which are very unsatisfied. And likewise, we can see for the remaining cell. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, again for the unsatisfied, right? I'm doing Control D. What I did, I have pressed here Control D from my keyboard. Same you need to do. I hope you did. Everyone did? Okay, I think it is difficult. Again, I'm telling you. You need to put a equal sign, right? Again, type count if like this, right? Give the range of your data like this, right? Okay, let me do one more thing. Yeah, put this, and this. I'll tell you afterwards. Firstly, I have done this. It is fine. What I did, F4 you need to press 2 times, I think. So that way your dollar sign will be only coming on before the number. For here in the B2 to B13. Fine. Or if you are unable to do so, you can use your keyboard also to put the dollar sign with the shift key. It is not mandatory. You need to F4 using the shift key above number 4 key. Means there is a key in which there is 4 imprinted. Above that you can find the dollar sign. So using shift key you can use that. It is also okay. Fine, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Press enter. It is giving me there is no unsatisfied respondent for the product 1. I'm dragging the formula further, and that way I'm getting the count. Now you can see why I did so, why I have only why I only freeze these numbers. Because once I will drag the formula, I want, because once I'll come to the next column, the column will be C, right? But I do not want to change the range of the data. That is, I do not want to change the rows. Rows should be 2 to 13 only. So that is why once I was here, I have only put the dollar sign before the numbers. That means I have fixed 2 and 13. But B I have not fixed. I hope you understood the meaning.
Yes, ma'am.
So once I drag the formula, so it became from B to C, then C to D, E, F, and then G. But the number was constant, 2 to 13, because I have kept dollar before it. Is it fine?
Yes.
Yes. Now I am again using Control D, and Control D will copy whatever you have kept on the above cell. So I have pressed Control D. You can see the formula is B2 to B13. It is quite obvious. I want B2 to B13, but instead of A16, this time I want A17, which is this neutral. Pressing enter, right? And then dragging it till the last cell. Fine. Again, Control D, making 17 as 18, pressing enter, dragging the formula till the last cell. Then Control D, making 18 as 19, pressing enter, and dragging the formula till the till the last cell. Fine, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So may I proceed?
Ma'am, therefore, when we press the Control D, it is copying the formula the above row from the above
Yes,
row
from the above cell.
from the above cell, and manually we have to change the
Only the last digit.
that means the
7 to 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. Means you
yes,
need to,
yes, yes,
you can take the reference of this. This is the
yes,
18,
yes.
19. So where whatever criteria you want to set, I want to set here the criteria which is there in the 18th row. So I made it 18. Right?
Okay, fine.
Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now put a equal sign. Use the sum function to get the total and then press enter.
B15 to B19. Okay.
Yes. And then drag it till the last. I hope it is easy to everyone to perform. Performance done?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So now we will move to the next sheet named as percent. If everyone has performed this, I'm expecting to click on the sheet third named as percent. Here you can see already this is the value which we have calculated. I think I forgot to delete this. So this is what we have performed here. Same we have copied and pasted here also, right? So this is the same which we have calculated in the previous sheet. You do not need to make any changes here. Using this data, you need to calculate the percent. That means how much percent people are very unsatisfied for the product 1. This is the question you need to answer, right? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how to calculate percent? I think everyone knows this thing very easily, right? You need to put a equal sign, right? Select this, divide this by the total. So you can fix, you can fix this total because this total will not change here for this particular data. Means for this particular cells or categories. So I have fixed this B20, pressing enter. So it is 18%, right? Now you can drag your formula till the last cell. You can check from B15 to B16, 17, 18, and then 19. Then simple. I think it is okay.
When we drag the 18% from right side, what will happen?
So we can see this. You can do this, right? It is coming as 27, but you need to see whether it is correct or not.
But it is wrong.
Yes, that is what I'm telling you, because it is B20,
yes.
Right? So what you can do, you can come and you can select, write it as C20. Is it fine?
Yes.
Now you can see the selection. It is C15, C20. It is correct now. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Enter. And then again you can drag it till the last cell. So as I said, I am again dragging it here and now I'm making the changes from C to D. Fine? Pressing enter, dragging it till the last category. Again, making is E, right? Pressing enter, dragging it till last cell. Now, dragging it here, making E as F, pressing enter, dragging it till last cell. For the last category, now I am doing making G from F, right? Enter, and then drag it till the last category. Everyone is okay? Performed?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope no doubt.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. Now you need to get the total of your percent. So put the equal, type sum, and select these percentages to get the total of percent, which is 100. It should be. You can drag your formula till the last cell. It is 100%. Simple, I hope. May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now we will create a report here. You can see in the report, but I think there is a difference. I need to tell you what. Here you can see our categories, that is very unsatisfied, satisfied, etc. are listed in a row, right? In the report, I have deliberately kept them in a column heading, right? So that is a difference. Now you need to transpose the data. How you can do the transposing? For that, you need to select your data first like this. So I'm expecting please do it. Otherwise, you people generally face problems. So do not wait. Please copy along with me. So I pressed Control C. I hope everyone has done that. May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
So after doing Control C, come to the report. Put your or select any of the cell which is not there in a table. You know? Apart from that, select any of the blank cell. Do a right click here, and then select here firstly the values. I hope everyone has found it.
Yes, ma'am.
That. Now what you need to do? Again, do the Control C for the values. Means whatever values you have taken, do the Control C of this. Come to the first cell, do the right click, and then select here this transpose. I hope you found.
Yes.
If you found, you do this, and then from your this number section, you can click on this %.
Okay.
In the home tab, in the % section, you can select this %. Done?
Ma'am, what is the difference between the B10 that is 0.181818182 with the 18%? That is
This,
B2.
sir, this is the round of values. If you want to bring these values here, you can do this also. Up to you. This is the rounded values. 18.818 means it is nothing, right? Because
Yes,
Excel has preserved those values. Decimal point values are also available in Excel. So if you are using this, so that way it is showing you up to 2 decimal points or 3, whatever you want, something like this.
I think it's the precision.
Sorry?
Showing the precision value, madam.
Yeah, right. This is we are increasing and decreasing the decimal points, right? So that is rounded figures which you have seen previously. Up to you, whatever way you want to show the person. So I think I am okay with this.
yes, ma'am.
Fine. And you can find, sir, here also. I think once you have asked this question, you can see here this thing. When it is 41.66, so it is rounded to the 42%, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I think I can delete this. Now there is no use of this. This way we have created the report, right? Now using this report, if you want to create certain graphs and charts, that also you can do, right? Now we are proceeding with the next thing. That is the sheet 5, which is very important here now. So I'm expecting you to click on the sheet 5. I think there is one thing I need to tell you. So what I'll do, come to the sheet 1 first, copy these categories from here like this. Come to the sheet 1 named as missing value, copy these different categories, do a Control C, come to the last sheet named as sheet 5 and paste it here where you are finding 5. Put your cursor there and do the Control V. Everyone has done this? Fine, everyone. I hope you found it. Hello. Everyone, it is okay? No sound?
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am. Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So why I did this? I did deliberately because I can tell you how to code this. Is how to put 5432. So coding is also possible in Excel. How you can do this? You can please select your data like this. Means for all the 6 products, whatever responses you got, you need to select those responses. You do not need to select this mail and income, etc. Is it fine? Is it okay? May I proceed?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Now press Control H for finding and replacing the thing, right? In the find what? Type very satisfied. Then in the replace with type 5. I hope it is done. Friends say yes or no. May I proceed?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Now click on replace all. We have found total 17 replacements. Now we'll replace very dissatisfied by 1.
Four.
Very dissatisfied by 1. Satisfied by 4, right? So we are firstly replacing very dissatisfied. Click on replace all. Sorry, it was very unsatisfied. Right. So click on replace all. 11 replacements made. Done, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now replace unsatisfied by 2. Now unsatisfied by 2. Click on replace all. 4 replacements done. Lastly, satisfied by 4. Click on replace all. 24 replacements done. And then lastly,
Neutral.
neutral by 3. Click on replace all. And then you can close this window. This way you can find all the replacements or all the codings were performed by Excel. It is okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. Now, suppose I think coding is done. After,
हे चांगलंच आहे म्हणा आता.
okay, now after that, how to perform descriptive statistics using Excel, that I'll explain you. So firstly, descriptive statistics is what? Just a minute. I hope the size of the font is okay. You are able to see whatever I'm writing here. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Descriptive statistics means it is a way of summarizing your data. Using the descriptive statistics, we can understand the behavior of the data, the nature of the data, right? But question comes, how to understand the nature and what are the methods we are using to describe the data. So to describe the data, there are methods called measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, and measures of distributions. So measures of central tendency, we all know mean, median, and mode, which are giving a single value which represents the complete data, is known as measures of central tendency. Second is measures of dispersion. These methods help you to understand the variation in the data, usually standard deviation and variance we can use. Distribution is a very important, what I can say method in the descriptive statistics, which can help you to understand the nature of your data. There are 2 ways, skewness and kurtosis, which can help you to understand whether your data is normal or not, right? So to understand whether your data is normal or not, you can see the skewness value. Generally, skewness should be 0 and kurtosis should be the 3. But in most of the cases, it is very difficult to get 0 and 3. So that is why we can use the threshold value And using that, we can say whether the data is approximately normally distributed or not. So this way, these are the various methods. Using Excel, how you can get that? Firstly, I am mentioning just few of the name here, which you can calculate here. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, maximum value of the data, minimum value of the data. If you want to count how many observations that you can do, if you want to get total that you can do, then skewness, and lastly the kurtosis. This is what you can calculate using Excel by various functions. Mean means the average, so you need to put a equal. Type AV, you can find a prompt is coming with all the suggestive options. You need to select the average. And then suppose I am calculating the average income. So I am selecting the range of the income. You need to close the bracket and press the enter. So it is I2 to I30, right? I pressed enter. So this is the average income here. Now the median income, if I want to get, so the function name is median, and I'm typing E2 to E30. To save my time, I have not selected the range. I already typed the range. Pressing enter, this is the median salary. For mode, again I'm tapping E2 to E30. Pressing enter. For standard deviation, function is STDEV I2 to I30. I hope you are getting me. It is not fast, right? Are you getting me? For mean, average, median, mode, standard deviation, STDEV, and then you need to select the range. Is it fine, everyone?
Okay, ma'am.
Then for variance, function is VAR only. I2 to I13, closing the bracket, pressing the enter. This is the variance in the income. Maximum income value if I want to get. So I am giving the range. From this range, I want to find the maximum value, which is 36,000. The minimum income, use the function min only, I2 to I13, and the minimum income is 18,000. Count
Ma'am,
if I
why
want.
should we use this variance?
Variance is for the understanding the variance in the data, which is the variation.
Okay.
Then count I2 to I13, which is 12. Sum of the income, if I want to get, I need to use sum function, which is I2 to I13, enter. And for skewness, the function name is only SKEW, I2 to I13. And lastly, the kurtosis KURT. Right? So remaining, I think average, median, everything we I think know. Skewness and kurtosis. Skewness will tell you the symmetry from your mean, whether your data is symmetrical or not. So this value should be 0 usually, but you can find this value is minus 0.13, which is nearby 0, but it is not exactly 0. And the value is negative. So you can say this is the negatively skewed data or negatively skewed income, right? But as I said, it is very difficult to get 0. So somewhere you can see value is very near to 0. We can say data is approximately symmetrical, right? Similarly, kurtosis value should be exactly 3 for the normally distributed data. But again, it is not 3 and it is negative value. So that way you can say your data is platykurtic. For negative kurtosis value, you can call it as a platykurtic data. For positive skewness, you can call it as a leptokurtic data. If value is 3, you can call it as a mesokurtic data, right? So we can say our data is platykurtic data. And again, I will repeat this thing. Usually difficult to get the value as 3. So you need to little bit do the adjustment with the values, and that way you can ascertain whether your data is symmetrical or kurtosis is okay or not. Kurtosis is generally telling you the shape of the normal distribution curve. If you have seen the normal distribution curve, so you can find whether that particular shape is flatter or whether it is peaked one. So that way, this type of study we are doing using the kurtosis, right? So this is the descriptive statistics using Excel. There is one more way to get the descriptive statistics in few seconds only. Rather than performing all these functions, in a single click, you can get descriptive statistics. So I hope I can tell you this now. You all are ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So how to do that? For that, you need to add one add-ins.
Hello,
Yes.
ma'am. What will be the threshold value for kurtosis if we are not getting the 3 exactly? Then
Generally,
which
-3 to +3 you can take.
Okay, thank you.
So now we are talking about how to add add-ins in the Excel. For that, everyone please pay attention and perform along with me. Go to the file, then select options. From this dialog box, click on the add-ins. Here you can see at the bottom, there is a section with the name Manage Excel Add-ins. Here you need to click on the Go button. Click on the Go. And then you can find one more boxes coming. In that there are so many add-ins are available, which are for the Excel. So there is the first option available with the name Analysis Toolpack. In my case, you can find checkboxes there. I have selected this. You need to check this particular box and click on the OK button. I'm not doing this because I have already added this particular analysis toolpack in my Excel. So you need to select the checkbox and click on OK button. After doing this, you can come to the data tab. In the data tab, at the extreme right, here you can find the data analysis. This is the toolpack available here. I hope it is okay, everyone, and everyone has added this.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. If you have added this, now we will see how we can use this, right? For using this, you need to click on this data analysis. Once you will click on this, a dialog box will appear in front of you. I hope it is visible to everyone. And if you are performing, you can see the same on your screen also. There you can find descriptive statistics is by default selected. And here we want to perform this. So you need to click on the OK button. Once you are clicking on OK, you can see it is asking you to give the range of your data. For that, you want to calculate descriptive statistics. So here I am selecting my data like this. So I have selected my data. You can, if you have paid attention, you can see I selected my data including the head of the column. I mean, whatever heading was there, I have selected my data including that also, right? So in the case of functions, we cannot include that heading, but here you can include this, right? So I have included this. Second section is asking grouped by. Your data is grouped by column or row. So you can find the data is in the column only. So by default option is column. We will go with this. In the next, it is asking you, you need to check this box. It is asking you labels in the first row. Yes, I selected my data including the label, right? So I have selected my data, that is I1. From the I1 cell, I selected my data. So that is why I'm selecting this checkbox. If you have selected your data from I2, in that case, you do not need to check this box. Or else, if you're doing so, in that case, values will differ, right? Output options, where you want to generate your result in the same worksheet. That is the first option. Second option in the new worksheet. Third option in a new workbook, right? I always go with the first option. Up to you. If you want to generate your output in some other sheet or workbook, that you can do. After selecting this option, you need to come to this box. You need to click on this box and you need to select a blank cell from your sheet. I selected a blank cell. If you can see, I selected this cell and it is the reference of this cell. Now you need to click on the summary statistics, right? Apart from that, nothing you need to check here. You can click on the OK button. In few seconds, you would be able to see that the output of descriptive statistics will be generated by Excel for us. I hope you all have performed this. How many of you have performed? In my case, it is taking time because after a long time, I think I have used it. But I think those who are performing along with me, maybe they have got the output. Yes or no?
Yes, madam.
Yes. So you can see this is the output, which is very similar to the value we have got here, right? That way you can cross check this. So these are the figures, or these are the values which we have received for the various things: mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, kurtosis, skewness, range, minimum, maximum, sum, and count. Right? So almost you can cross check, almost values are very, very similar, which we have got using the various functions, right? So friends, this way Excel is a very what I can say, easy and simple tool for the data analysis. Although the choices are very limited for the statistical test, you can explore this data analysis toolkit. You can find only limited type of tools you can perform using Excel. But for a beginner, or for the person, those who are not good in some other softwares, they can easily use this if they are writing their paper or they are writing their thesis on these tools only, which are available in the Excel. So that way you can use Excel effectively for your analysis purpose, right? So I think this is all from my side for the day. Now over to you. If you are having any queries, queries are most welcome. Any queries? Yes.
Ma'am, can we able to draw the bell curve from this data?
Sir, you can do, but I think there is some problem. Everything is not easily possible here in Excel. Histogram you can easily draw. On the histogram, you can keep usually the Excel, usually the normal well-shaped curve, sir. Histogram is quite possible to draw, and on that graph, there are options available nowadays using the advanced Excel that you can do, sir.
To draw the normalized curve, what type of tools we can use?
Sir, generally, I think SPSS is available. Apart from that, Stata, MATLAB you can use, R you can use, Python you can use. So there are various softwares available. Using that, you can easily draw these things.
Okay.
Because here, once we'll talk about the histogram also, you need to create bins. So Excel is little, what I can say, it's a cumbersome process to do so, right? So rather than using Excel, if you can use some other softwares, that will be much easier for us for drawing the bell-shaped curves.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Any other query?
Yes, participants, any other question?
I think no queries, Neha ma'am, over to you.
Okay, ma'am.
So thank you, everyone. It is all from my side for the day. Tomorrow, I think again we are meeting for the next session, which will be on SPSS.
Tomorrow, at what time the session will start, ma'am?
I think 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So can we conclude, ma'am?
Yes, Neha ma'am.
Okay. So it's time to conclude today's session. But before that, I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation to each participant. I offer sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Chanchala Jain ma'am. We are deeply thankful for your invaluable time and for sharing your expertise. Your sessions are always outstanding. Furthermore, I express genuine appreciation to the organizing committee and sponsors for their indispensable support. With deep gratitude for everyone's active involvement, we officially bring today's session to a close. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neha ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, everyone. We are meeting tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Good night.
Good night, ma'am. Good night, ma'am.
Good night, everyone.